יומא, פרק ז', משנה ג'. להבנת משנתנו, in order to understand this Mishnah, יש להקדים דברים אחדים בעניין הקורבנות הקרבים ביום הכיפורים. We have to go and start understanding about the sacrifices that they used to bring in Yom Kippur itself. So let's see. 16 בהמות מפורטות בתורה, שהיו בו קרבות בו ביום. So we're going to have 16 sacrifices that the Torah specifies that has to be brought on Yom Kippur. Let's see what are the 16. Number 1, תמיד של שחר ותמיד של בין הערביים הקרבים בכל יום. 2 is easy. The morning and the evening, morning and the afternoon, sheep. הרי שתי בהמות. We have 2 animals already. Okay? פר ועיל של כהן גדול. The ram and the bull of the high priest. We also not we learned about it. So that's 4 already. כמו שכתוב פרשת עבודת היום, בזאת יבוא אהרון אל הקודש, like it says in this Aaron should come to the holiness, בפר בן בקר לחטאת, with a bull for a sin offering, ועיל לעולה, and an עיל for עולה. והרי 4 בהמות. So far we have 4. שעיר ועיל של ישראל, we also have a goat and a ram that belongs to the Jewish people, כמו שכתוב, like it says, ומת עדת בני ישראל ייקח 2 שעירי עזים לחטאת, ועיל אחד לעולה. So 2 goats and 1 ram from the Jewish people. 2 lottery, and 1 ram for an עולה, an extra sacrifice. ואין השעיר המשתלח לעזאזל בכלל המניין שלנו. The Azazel is not part of the Zeb because it's not getting sacrificed. The Azazel... So the one seir that was sprinkled the blood, and the ram, that's 2 more. Forget the other goat. The other goat, Azazel, we don't count him. Okay. שאין לנו מונים אלא בהמות שהיו קרובות, because we're only counting the things that were burnt on the altar. And the Azazel wasn't burnt on the altar, we're not going to count him. So far we have 6. הרי 6 בהמות. פר ועיל, we also have a bull and a ram, ו7 כבשים, and 7 more sheep. כולם עולות. All of them are an עולה sacrifice. ושעיר אחד, and 1 more goat לחטאת. 1 more goat is a sin offering, הנקרא במשנתנו שעיר הנעשה בחוץ. This is called in our Mishnah the goat that was done outside. שהם קורבנות המוסף של יום הכיפורים. This is the additional sacrifices of Yom Kippur. It's like the Musaf were. You know, so the Musaf was another ram, another bull, another ram, and 7 more sheep. כמו שכתוב פרשת פנחס, like it says in פרשת פנחס, ובעשור לחודש השביעי, it says in the 10th of the 7th month, which is Yom Kippur, והקרבתם עולה להשם, you should bring a sacrifice to God, פר בן בקר אחד, it says 1 bull, עיל אחד, 1 ram, כבשים בני שנה 7 תמימים. We read it in what we read in פרשת פנחס, right? And you also read the Musaf, 7 sheep. שעיר עזים לחטאת, and 1 more goat for sin offering, הרי כאן עוד 10 בהמות. So we have altogether 10 animals. נמצא בין הכל 16 בהמות. So the Musaf is a lot. The Musaf is 7 plus 2 plus 10. For the Musaf, there's 10 things from Musaf. 10 animals from Musaf. נמצא בין הכל 16 בהמות. So altogether we have 16 animals. This is according to the Tanna Kama. Now we're going to have some arguments if this is 16 or not. ברם לדעת רבי יהודה, according to רבי יהודה הנשיא, לא היו קרבות ביום הכיפורים אלא 15 בהמות. רבי יהודה הנשיא says no, there were not 16, there was only 15. שכן סובר הוא שעיל אחד לעולה, because he thinks that the ram that goes as a sacrifice, האמור בפרשת יום הכיפורים, הוא אותו עיל אחד האמור בפרשת המוספים. It says it's the same ram, it's the same, it's not מוסף, it's the same one. בגמרא מבואר שמשנתנו היא כדעת רבי. Our Mishnah is going to be like according to Rabbi. Mishnah Gimel is going to be Mishnah Gimel, which means we're going to only count 15, not 16. ויש חובקים עליו וסוברים ששני אלים היו. There are those who disagree with Rabbi, and they tell Rabbi, even according to you there's 16 because there's two rams. Okay. מכל מקום, but nevertheless, לפי משנתנו יהיו קרבות ביום הכיפורים 15 בהמות. According to our Mishnah, there were 15 animals. 3 מהם חטאות, 3 from them are sin offerings, And they are which ones? Paro shel Kohen Gadol, the bull of the high priest, השעיר של ישראל, the goat of the Jewish people, שעלה עליו הגורל להשם, the one that's going to be sprinkled all over the place like we learned, ושעיר החטאת של מוספים, and the goat sin offering of Musaf, 3 sin offerings. שתי חטאות הראשונות נקראות חטאות פנימיות, the first two are called inner sin offerings, why? שמתם דמם בפנים, because you sprinkle them on the inside. והן נשרפות, כמו ששינו כל מסכתנו, and they're burnt out of ירושלים, like we learned. והחטאת השלישית נקראת חטאת ריצונית. And the third sin offering, the Musaf, is called outside, שדמה נזרק על המזבח החיצון שעמד בעזרה, because it's sprinkled on the outside courtyard, not in the inner. ונאכלת היא לערב, and you eat it towards the evening. שאר 12 הבהמות, כולם עולות, all the other ones are an עולה sacrifice, in which are there, they're תמיד של שחר, they're in the morning sacrifice, the תמיד, ותמיד שבין הערביים, in the afternoon, ואילו של כהן גדול, the ram of the high priest, ואל העם, and the ram of the nation, היינו האלה נזכר גם פרשת אחרי מות, וגם פרשת פנחס, in other words, it's the same ram, according to Rabbi, הוא פר, and then the bull for Musaf, ושבעת כבשים, and 7 more sheep of Musaf. In other words, according to the Autana, the 16, there's a ram also in there. Yeah, but according to Rabbi, there's no ram in there. Okay. It's the same ram as before. Okay? ראשון לקורבנות, היום היה תמיד של שחר. So we already know. The first one was the תמיד of the morning. והאחרון היה תמיד של בין הערביים. And the last one was the תמיד of the afternoon. אחר תמיד של שחר, היה נשחטים פרו של כהן גדול. After the morning was shechted the bull of the high priest, והשעיר של שם, and the ram, and the goat that gets sprinkled in the inside, like we learned. Yeah? היינו החטאות הפנימיות, which means the sin offerings that goes on the inside. כמו שלמדנו לעיל במסכתנו, like we learned before in המסכת.
זה שעיר של שם, זה השעיר להשם?
השעיר להשם, yeah, that's exactly that. משנתנו עוסקת בסדר הקרבתם של שאר הקרבנות. So our Mishnah is going to deal with what was the order of the other sacrifices. ואין המשנה מזכירה הקטר האימורים של הפר והשעיר הפנימיים. The Mishnah doesn't mention when do you bring the fat of the bull and the goat that was sprinkled on the inside. שכן מפורש בסדר היום שקרבים הם לאחר אילו ואל העם. Because we already know it, that you're going to bring the fat after the ram of the high priest and the ram of the nation. שנאמר, ועשה את עולתו ואת עולת העם ואת חלב החטאת יקטיר המזבחה. We already know that, so it doesn't even mention that, because the verse already mentions it, so it doesn't feel like it needs to say it. Okay, let's start. אם בבגדי בוץ קורא, so now we are in the reading of the Torah. So we said he's reading it in white clothing. כהן גדול קורא את פרשת היום ולא באצטלית שלו. So if he reads it in the white garments, it says he is allowed to wear white garments, or he's allowed to wear whatever he wants, because it's not part of the services, if you remember. So if he wears the white garments, what does he need to do? קידש ידיו ורגליו, he needs to wash his hands and feet, לאחר הקריאה, after the reading, והרי זה קידוש רביעי. And this is the 4th time he's washing his hands and feet. פשט בגדי הלבן, he has to take down off his white garments, ירד וטבל, goes to the mikveh, שבלשכת בית הפרווה, this is the mikveh, it's in a holy place, עלה ונסתפק, he goes up and he dries himself off, וניגב גופו, אבל אם היה קורא באצטלית לבן משלו, but if he used his own garments, not the בית המקדש garments, כבר קידש ידיו ורגליו קודם שפשט את בגדי הלבן, he already did it already. So this is in case he didn't do it. ולא היה צריך את לפשוט את צלותו ולטבול, והרי זו טבילה שלישית. In other words, he didn't need to wash his hands, he only needs the mikveh. So the question is, if he wears his own garment, it's...
One less tefillah.
No, tefillah is for both of them.
Or he doesn't have to do tefillah after he takes the...
No, tefillah for both of them. The only difference is washing your hands and feet.
Oh,
the washing your hands and feet. Yeah, tefillah for both. Every time you take off the clothing of the Beit HaMikdash, you have to wash your hands and feet. Over here, he's not taking off the clothing of the Bet HaMikdash. So he doesn't have to wash it.
Wash just his hands and feet.
He already washed it before. When he finished the thing before reading of the Torah, yeah, he took off the white clothing and he put on his clothing. So then he already washed his hands and feet then. So now, since he didn't, he needed to do it now. That's all. You only wash your hands and feet when you take off the garments of the Bet HaMikdash. So the question is just when. It's exactly the same thing. הביאו לו בגדי זהב, they brought to him golden garments, ולבש וקידש ידיו ורגליו. Again, he wears it, and then he has to wash again his hands and feet. קידוש חמישי, a fifth time. ויצא ועשה את אלו ואת אלם. He goes out, and he brings his ram and the ram of the nation. שם קורבנות עולה. This is, like we said, the עולה sacrifice, כמו שכתוב. ורחץ את בשרו במים, he washed his flesh in the water, במקום קדוש, in the holy place, ולבש את בגדיו, he wore his clothing, ויצא ועשה את עולתו ואת עולת העם. Like it says, he has to bring his ram and the ram of the nation. And, this is the Musaf. And, ואת שבעת כבשים תמימים בני שנה. And he brings the 7 sheep, or a year-old sheep, קורבנות המוסף של היום, the Musaf of the day. This is according to whom? This is according to Divrei Rabbi Eliezer. This is according to the words of Rabbi Eliezer. Which bull?
Don't they have with the 7 kvasim also ayin and a bull?
You're right, they do. So let's see, maybe that's what we're going to discuss it. Divrei Rabbi Eliezer. בגמרא מבוארת ברייתא, in the Gemara it brought on the ברייתא, שלדעת רבי אליעזר אינו מקריב בטבילה זאת טבילה שלישית אלו ואל העם. So, according to him, he doesn't sacrifice in this third dipping only his ram and the ram of the nation and not the bull. That's your question. ואף מקטירו את אמורי הפר והשעיר הפנימיים. And then he also takes the fat or the limbs of the bull and the ram from the morning that is sprinkled in the inside. אבל פרה עולה, now your question, what about the bull? There's a bull also in the Musaf, like you ask. אבל פרה עולה ושבעת הכבשים והשעיר לחטאת של המוספים, הקריבים תמיד של בין הארבעים. That is going to bring in the afternoon, not yet. He's going to bring it just before the last one, which is the Tamid. וטעמו, and according to his reasoning, שצריך היה להקריב את קורבנות היום לפי הסדר שנכתבו בתורה. And he says, you have to bring him according to the way the written in the Torah. והרי אילו ואל העם, and his ram and the ram of the nation, ואימורי פר ושעיר, and all the parts of the bull, his bull, and the goat that sprinkled inside, כתובים בפרשת עבודת היום ויקרא. Those are written early in the day, in פרשת ויקרא. ופרה עולה ושבעת הכבשים, and the bull for עולה, and the 7 sheep, והשעיר הנעשה בחוץ, כתובים בפרשת מוספים. This is only in במדבר. מכאן מפרשים דברי רבי אליעזר שבשתיים כמפורש בברייתא. So this, they said, and it's interesting, he doesn't even mention the bull over here in the Mishnah itself. But he probably says, the 7 kvasim, of course it's with the bull. And he's just saying it's in the afternoon, not immediately in the morning. Because according to the first opinion, what we thought, it was immediately in the morning, and then you will wait for the afternoon to bring the other one. ויצא ועשה את אלו ואת אל העם. So this is the way he reads it. And he went out and he did his ram and the ram of the nation. וכן הקטיר את אימורי הפר והשעיר. And also he's going to bring the bull and the goat that was sprinkled on the inside. שהרי כאן כך נאמר בסדר היום, because this is how it says it in Torah. ויצא ועשה את עולתו, he went out and he did his sacrifice, ואת עולת העם, and the sacrifice of the nation, ואת חלב החטאת יקטיר המזבח, and the fat he was going to bring on the altar, וכבר ביארנו בהקדמה למשנתנו, שאל העם, היינו אותו אל הנזכר פרשת עד היום, that the ram of the nation is the same ram who is mentioned in that day, in פרשת אחרי מות, וגם פרשת מוספים. In other words, it's not 2 rams, it's the same one. ואת שבעת כבשים תמימים בני שנה, and then the 7 goats, the 7 sheep, וכן שאר קורבנות המוספים, and also the other ones, which means the bull and the ram. היינו פרה עולה ושעיר החטאת הנעשה בחוץ, the bull and the goat that was on outside, in the outside, when he says outside, doesn't mean, it means on the outside altar, not in the inside. הקריב כולם אחר כך עם תמיד שבין הארבעים. That it says, that was just before mincha. But before the end of the day, that was waited for the end. Okay. משום מה נקט שבעת הכבשים ושיער פר העולה וסיר הנעשה בחוץ. And for whatever reason, he didn't write that it's also with the bull. We don't know what the reason is. That's what it says. So this is according to Rabbi Eliezer. In other words, according to Rabbi Eliezer, you do the entire service. Musaf comes just before mincha. You don't do Musaf after Shachris, according to Rabbi Eliezer. You do all the Musaf sacrifices just before Mincha. Okay. Rabbi Akiva says no. You do Musaf right after Shachris. Rabbi Akiva Omer, im tamid shel shachar hayu kruvim. It says, oh, not even that. Interesting. Im tamid shel shachar, maybe he even changes the order completely. Let's see. I'm not sure what he says. Let's see. With the tamid shel shachar, they were coming. שבעת הכבשים, the 7 sheep, ופר העולה וסיר הנעשה בחוץ, היו קרבים תמיד של בין הארבעים. So it says, אם תמיד שחר היו קרבים, 7 הכבשים. So it says, the reason why it doesn't say the bull over here, according to Rabbi Akiva, I'll explain to you why. Only the bull goes in mincha. The seven sheep goes in shachris. And the bull goes in mincha. ופר העולה וסיר הנמצא בחוץ היו קרבים, the bull and the goat, both of them are with mincha, but the 7 sheep goes in shachris. Okay. בגמרא מבוארת ברייתא, in the Gemara it explains, Rabbi Akiva says, פר העולה, the bull, ושבעת כבשים עם תמיד של שחר היו קרבים. And the 7 sheep with the morning dews to come. שנאמר, מלבד עולת הבוקר, אשר לא אתה תמיד, because it says, besides עולת הבוקר, that you brought already, that was always. תעשו את אלה, you should do with these. מכאן משמע שמוספים קרבים עם תמיד של שחר. From here we see, with the tamid of the morning, you do shachar. The question is, if it's before the bull and the ram, the bull and the goat, that was going to the inside, I don't know. When he says it's done in the morning, what does it mean? Before the bull and the ram, or after the bull and the ram?
Probably after.
I'm not sure, but it can.
Everybody
yeah.
agree that the bull and the ram is the first.
No, the tamid is the first. Yeah.
No, אחרי התמיד. הבול והרם.
Oh, but
הבול וה...
I think maybe Rabbi Akiva is telling you that all these are coming even before the bull and the ram. Maybe I'm not sure. You could. We'll see, or maybe after. I don't know what he means. ואף על פי שזה נאמר במוספי כל הרגלים, and even though this says in the musafs of all the holidays, מכל מקום למדים מהם גם מוספי יום כיפורים, ואחר כך עבודת היום. So it looks like Rabbi Akiva says, only then it's going to start with the bull and the ram. In other words, finish 7 kvasim and then you start. It is in addition to the shachris. Okay. הכתרת הכתובת ומתן דנה בפרסאים. So according to Rabbi Akiva, first of all you do the 7 sheep and only then you start the special Yom Kippur job. ואחר כך שעיר הנעשה בחוץ, and only then the goat was done outside. שנאמר, שעיר עזים אחד חטאת, מלבד חטאת הכיפורים. And it says, in the verse it makes sense. Look, the goat is separated. It says 1 goat besides the sin offering of Yom Kippur. משמע, שהשעיר הפנימי שמעבודת היום, which means that this inner שעיר קודם לשעיר הנעשה בחוץ, is earlier in time to the שעיר who is done outside. ואחר כך אלו ואל העם, then his ram and the ram of the nation, ואחר כך אימורי חטאת. And then all the sin offerings, like we said, לפי הסדר הכתוב פרשת אחרי מות, just according to the order that it's written in the Torah. ואחר כך תמיד של בין הארבעים, and all the way in the end, the מנחה. מכאן מפרשים דברי עקיבא במשנתנו. So this is how you learn according to Rabbi Akiva. אם תמיד של שחר, it says with the תמיד של שחר, היו קרבים, you used to bring, אם תמיד של שחר היו קרבים. The 7 sheep used to be brought with תמיד של שחר, ופר העולם, כלומר ששבעת הכבשים וכן פר העולה היו קרבים תמיד של שחר. רבי עקיבא even takes the bull with the 7 goats and brings it before everything else. And only the goat without the bull was done before mincha. ושעיר הנעשה בחוץ, עם תמיד שבין הארבעים. And the goat who's going to be on the outside altar, this is going to be with the mincha sacrifice, just before. ואין גורסים היו קרבים, and we don't say they were sacrificed, ולאו דווקא עם תמיד בין הארבעים ממש. It doesn't mean with exactly at the same time. שכן תמיד שבין הארבעים היה קרב בטביל החמישי. Because the תמיד of the mincha used to be brought in the fifth dip. אבל השעיר הנעשה בחוץ, but the goat that was done outside, וכן אלו ואל העם ומורי הפר והשעיר הפנימיים היו קרבים בטבעה שלישית. All this was done in the third dip. So it was quite a distance between them. שהואיל וכתוב מלבד חטאת הכיפורים, because it says, besides the sin offering of יום כיפור, משמע על כל הפנים שיהיה השעיר נעשה בחוץ סמוך לו, but it has to be close to it. ובטבילה הרביעית כהן גדול מוציא כף ומחתה כמבואר המשנה הבאה. And in the fourth dipping, he's going to take the coals, if you remember, with the incense. That's for the fourth dipping. ולא נקט רבי עקיבא עם תמיד שבין הארבעים. So what did רבי עקיבא says with the mincha prayer? אלא כדי להשמיענו שאינו קרב כשאר המוספים. To tell you, don't bring him together with the morning. No, bring it after Yom Kippur work, not before Yom Kippur work. אם תמיד שם. כך מפרש רש"י. All this is the explanation of Rashi. Now we're going to learn Rabbi Akiva, I think, according to somebody else. וכן הם מפרשים גם המאירי והרב מרטנורה ואחרים. So this is, most of the commentaries explain this Mishnah this way according to Rabbi Akiva. ויש מפרשים לדעת רבי עקיבא. There are those who says, no, that's not what Rabbi Akiva means. Rabbi Akiva means something else. What does it mean? שהימורי הפר והשעיר הפנימיים, it means that the goat and the bull that was sprinkled inside, היו קרבים עם תמיד של בין הארבעים ממש. used to be brought with the mincha. ולשיטת בעלי תוספות, כך פירושם של דברי עקיבא. So how do you learn it but how do you learn this in the verses? So he said like this. אם תמיד ששחר היו קרבים, you learn it, it says they used to be brought with the morning sacrifice. What used to brought with the morning sacrifice, they learn? שבעת הכבשים של מוסף היום. The 7 sheep. The Musaf, yeah? ופר העולה, and the bull, who's an עולה, וכן פר העולה של מוסף קרב עם תמיד של שחר. ושעיר הנעשה בחוץ, and also the goat, and the goat who's done outside, on the outside altar, קרב אחר כך בזמנו עם אלו ואל העם שהזכיר כבר רבי אליעזר. It goes at his specific time, after יום כיפור work. היו קרבים, היינו אמורי הפר והשעיר הנשרפים, עם תמיד של בין הארבעים. That's what it means, עם תמיד של בין הארבעים, after יום כיפור. היינו, ולא הזכיר את האמורים במפורש, מטעם שגם רבי אליעזר לא הזכירם. And the reason why he doesn't mention them specifically, because the Mishnah doesn't mention it, so he didn't mention it. אבל הרמב"ם מפרש, but the Rambam disagrees also with this. And the Rambam says, שאף השעיר של מוסף, that also the goat of מוסף, ואילו, and his ram, ואל העם, and the ram of the nation, היו קרבים עם תמיד של בין הארבעים ממש. They were brought at the same time. It says, not in the third and fifth. Yeah? They were brought ממש in the same time, אלא שלדעת הרמב"ם, אף תמיד של בין הארבעים היה קרב אצל השישית. And according to him, מוסף was done in the third, mincha was done in the third dipping. According to Rabbi Akiva, mincha was done only in the fifth. The Rambam says, no, the mincha on Yom Kippur was on the third dip. ועיין תוספות יום טוב שמבוארות שם הדעות השונות מכל מקום הלכה כרבי עקיבא. Nevertheless, the halacha like Rabbi Akiva, and there's many ways to understand Rabbi Akiva. You know, for our understanding, let's put it, there were 15 sacrifices. Yeah, we know some of it was done before the Avdat Hayom, some of them was before the service of Yom Kippur, which means the regular ones. The Musaf was, the question is, when is Musaf? Yeah. Is it before Yom Kippur or after Yom Kippur? So according to Rabbi Akiva...
No, it's before Mincha.
No, before even Yom Kippur. Even before Yom Kippur. According to Rabbi Akiva, the seven sheep is before the service of Yom Kippur.
Oh,
the service of Yom Kippur. Yeah. So according to Rabbi Akiva, because according to the Tanakama, according to the Tanakama, it's after Yom Kippur, after the service of Yom Kippur. Yeah. According to Rabbi Akiva, no. First you do the Musaf prayer, then you start Yom Kippur, and then you add some more to Yom Kippur in the Mincha. Exactly when is a questions, but that's what it is.